America, and my company is Cuoca in Vacanza, that is chef for your vacation. And I am from Tuscany, and this broadcast is from Tuscany in Italy. And this is my cooking school, and you're welcome here with me, and I hope we'll be together for this new recipe. I'm a professional chef and a cooking classes coach, and I like very much to pass down all the tips and tricks from my granny first and from the academy, chef academy after, and so I like very much to pass you all these restatements that they gave me. This is my cooking school, as I told you, that in this period is not open, but we here in Italy we hope that we can open it soon and that many people can come here again. And so we'll be able again to run cooking classes and to give our bedrooms here in Tuscany, near Lucca. So the recipe of today, because we have many recipes during our Facebook stream, is a fillet with a creamy peppercorn sauce, and is a famous French dish that is very popular in Italy too, and is a dish that belongs to a tradition of 80 years, so it's not a fashion dish in Italy right now, but in this moment, many restaurants and chefs are discovering it again because it's really delicious, and because many people is discovering again the ancient old flavor that grew up with them. So, about the peppercorn, I want to tell you just some tips. When we are calling about green peppercorn, you have to know that the black pepper, the white pepper and the green pepper are the same plant. So many people think that they are different, but there is also and only the pink pepper that is a completely different plant. And the green peppercorn is the unripe berry from the pepper. And when this berry, we let it to ferment, so when it ferments, it comes black pepper. And when this berry, we remove the pulp and we take just the seed, this is white pepper. So I like to tell you this curiosity from this strange word. So let's start, and let me know if you are online. I want to see your name. Please say hello, hi, so I can see you, and I want to speak with you and tell you everything. If you have some questions, there is also my daughter that she is seeing your comments if I can't, and I answer to all your questions. So please, guys, let me know if you are online, that we can start with the recipe, and I know that everyone is okay and is with me at this moment, because sometimes the broadcast is in a later time respect to the reality, okay? So let's tell me if you are.
Ti salutano Silvia Bacigalupi, Rachel, Donna Rose.
Grazie. Rachel, ciao, Silvia.
Maria Carla.
Donna e Maria Carla. Ciao, grazie. Thank you to come here with me, and you're very, very welcome, and I'm so happy to be with you, girls. If you need something, please tell me, and I am so curious if someone comes here that you tell me where you are watching from, because
okay.
I'm very happy to know where you are from. And I want to tell you that I jump here in the broadcast even when the broadcast is done. So if you have some question, you can ask even when you see the broadcast for the second or third time, because I see all the comments and I jump here again, okay?
E Judy ti saluta dal Maryland.
Ciao Judy! Oh, I'm sure you make it again with Rachel, with Gloria and others. So I'm really curious to see your dish.
E Silvia Bacigalupi dall'Oregon.
Sì, Silvia, ciao dall'Oregon, yes, I know. She comes in Tuscany often. So guys, let's go. I want to show you, first of all, the fillet. This is a beef fillet, but I want to tell you that you can use also pork, so no problem if you want to use pork. And there is even a kind of fillet that you can make with peppercorn sauce if you use, for example, a fish, salmon. In this case, you use the pink pepper. Anyway, let's go with the first recipe. So, as you can see, I take this because I want to maintain the round form of the fillet. So, we go with the other. We take this one. So, it's just, I repeat, it's just to maintain the round form of this. You can make with me this first part of the recipe, and then you can make the second for dinner tonight. Otherwise, you can watch all the part here, no problem. And then you make it for dinner. So, no problem, guys. Okay. For the fillet, you know that we are using green peppercorn and brine. I want to show you because I know it's very unusual in USA, for example, and you can buy it maybe online. In this case, we use just 2 tablespoons, and I go to use my meat pounder, but not too strong, just a bit on my berries. So, just a bit. Not all the berries has to be scratched. Just in this way. And I leave this here. Now, I go on my pan. You see that this recipe is very fast, but it is delicious. And this is an important dish because the cut of the meat is very precious, is important, and is very good. And I want to tell you some tricks. The first is that many cooks put the green pepper or the black pepper or the white pepper, if you make with the other kinds of pepper, on the meat. So they press the meat on the pepper, then they put on the pan. I suggest you to leave this here and to put on the pan just the butter and after the meat, because otherwise you risk to lose the Maillard reaction. Because if you have some pepper touching the meat doesn't touch the pan.
Judy dice che Amazon ce l'ha quello strumento lì.
Il meat pounder?
Sì.
Ok, perfetto, perfetto. I'm happy. And Amazon has also green peppercorn in brine, because I know that is not so easy to find. Now I show you that I just put my butter in the pan. So this is 30 grams, 1 ounce of butter. And you know that when I use butter, I always put together, in this case, 1 tablespoon of extra virgin oil, because the oil is very good when you want that your butter doesn't burn.
Barbara ti saluta dall'Arizona.
Ciao! Chi è, scusami?
Barbara Scott.
Ciao Barbara, dall'Arizona, bello, perfetto. So guys, at this point, I take my meat by hand, you know, because the fillet you have to touch. If you see the chef in the restaurant, always touching the fillet. I want to show you also the pan that is a bit large, but even high on the side. This is better because so we can deglaze after. So now that the fat are melted and they are warm, hot, we can put our meat in this way. 1 and 2. With your finger, you have to press a bit and you leave them.
Rachel, ti ringrazio perché le fa piacere sapere che l'olio non fa bruciare il burro e non lo sapeva.
Yes, the oil enhances the burning point of butter. So we are waiting for the Maillard reaction. You look, you can watch the change of color of the meat, that change in brown. This is the Maillard reaction. And at this point, you have two choices. Because usually what I suggest you for 200 grams of meat each, I suggest you 3 minutes each side if you want a medium pink color inside the fillet. If you want rare, just 2 minutes are okay. If you want cooked, really cooked, you have to wait, but I suggest you to have the fillet pink in the center, not too much cooked, otherwise it's very dry, because this cut of meat, as I told you, is very precious and is not a cut that has a rich flavor. That's why we are using a rich sauce in fat. So usually in the kitchen when you have lean cuts, you have fat sauce. That's to equilibrate the flavor.
Marco Burlandi scrive avantismo Erika.
Ciao Marco, ciao Marchino, grazie.
Poi Elisabetta Gonigi ti saluta da Tirrenia.
Ciao Betty, beata te che sei al mare. Okay guys, now we go again to flip our meat. So as you can see, I flipped the meat just one time, the first, and now the second time to see the other side of the meat, just to see it, because we have to be sure about the color of the meat. And you see that around, you always have something always pink. And in this case, we wait just a few seconds, because after our 3 minutes, each side will pass it. And for this, we need what I suggest you, since after we have to keep our meat warm, we'll put in a kitchen paper. That is very important because the meat will make obviously some blood, and so it's important that you put this. It's even an aesthetic question. And this is the tin foil that I told you in the tools, and after your meat. So 1, 2 are the times that I just touched the meat. And in this case, as you can see, the last time that is brown, this is perfect after for the glaze. It's a wonderful color, and this is the perfect color of our fillet. So, girls and guys, at this point we can take our meat, put here, and tell to take it warm. I don't add salt at this moment. I immediately go covering and down, so I'm sure it still continues cooking, but just outside, and it will be tender inside, because now inside is not pink, it's blood. Okay, this is our pan with our glaze. I go with my fire to have the fire again, and at this point I can pour my green peppercorn that as you see is frying, and now the brandy that sometimes make the flame.
Tyson Smith ti saluta e ti ringrazia.
Ciao Tyson, mio moschettiere. Ciao Tyson, I'm so happy you are with us. So when you are at home, if you have a fan that is not like this, but is outside of the fire, you can take fire and give the flambe, the flame, to your brandy as you pour in the pan. In this case, it's not possible, otherwise we have a fire. But it's okay in this way as well, because we have just to deglaze this. Now we are pouring the mustard. You can use the Dijon mustard, but don't worry if you want to use also the yellow one. Just don't use the grainy. As you can see, we are deglazing. At this point, we go again down the fire. So less fire. And we are going to pour our cream. In this case, I'm using a fresh cream. This is very cold, obviously, because it's a cream, and so I suggest you to higher fire.
Rachel chiede quanta crema.
For this two, that is 200 milliliters. So this is 1 cup, usually. There is another way to make this that I wrote in the ingredients. The option is to use sunflower. So you can use 1 tablespoon of flour and let it pour over like a rain. But I prefer, natural, and I think that flour needs to be cooked for 5 minutes to be sure that we don't taste the flavor of the flour. So I prefer don't use it. Ok.
Carlo chiede se può usare la crème fraîche.
Sì, Carlo, la puoi usare. You can use crème fraîche even if it's a bit sour. But anyway, you can use. I suggest you to use fresh cream if you have fresh, heavy whipping cream. But no problem, you can use fresh cream, crème fraîche. At this point, when you see many bubbles, you have just to turn off your fire at this point, because the sauce is ready when you see all the bubbles that are homogeneous, like this. if you are at home and you want to eat this tonight, I suggest you to leave this thing in this way. You put this in the fridge and then you take off from the fridge 1 hour before to heat, and so you can just put in a pan to give it hot again, and then you cover with a very hot cream. Otherwise, I suggest you to make all together for dinner time, because as you can see it's very fast. Tag someone in the comments if you want, they know this recipe, and I pray you to share this video and the streaming with your friends or on your page, on your Facebook diary, because so we go sharing these lessons all over the world.
Carlo dice per le calorie.
This is not a dietetic dish, Carlo, but the cut of meat is really lean. So, and anyway, the mustard is not fat. There is the fat from the butter, but as you can see, I used just 30 grams. So 15 grams each piece of meat. If you see the original recipe, and many chefs use a lot of butter for this recipe that comes from French. So you know that in France they use a lot of butter. So in this case there is just the cream. But if you use crème fraîche, or if you use the fresh cream, it's not so fat, because anyway when you go cooking it, after you just eat it over your meat, and it's not so so fat. You don't have so much if you have 100 milliliters.
Silvia dice sì, per favore.
Cosa? Silvia. So we remove our. Remember to remove your string, otherwise you risk to hit it. We use the kitchen paper, as you can see, to take all the blood that we have here. Here we have the sauce that I can promise you. Oops, scusate, aspetta che butto questo. That I can promise you is one of the most delicious things that you can taste, because the sauce is something really, really good. And I want to show you. You see, Carlo, you have not to just to cover this. And then we have the eccoci qua. And this is our dish that I suggest you to taste, guys, because filetto al pepe verde, that is green peppercorn fillet, or with a creamy peppercorn sauce, is a really delicious dish that you have to taste, and is very famous in Italy, and we are very proud of this dish, even if it comes from France.
Rachel dice che sembra delizioso.
See, Rachel, this is fantastic, and I'm sure that you are a very good chef. I'm sure you make it very, very delicious, and also the other will make this really good. And Carlo, I'm sure you'll like it a lot. In this case, as you can see, I didn't add salt. I love the flavor of the meat. I know there is mustard, and there is the salamoia, that is the brine from the peppercorn, so I didn't add salt. But you can taste the first time, and you can add when it's hot. So if the cream is still hot, you can add some salt, and so you can taste it.
Carlo chiede Morellino di Scansano.
Grande Carlo, yes. The Morellino di Scansano is a wine that I prepare with kind of dish. if you don't want to spend a lot of money, because this is an important dish, and so it's good even if you drink a Super Tuscan or a Barolo. So of course you have a fat, and you can drink something that is precious. But Morellino di Scansano, in my opinion, is one of the best wines that you can drink with this dish.
Judy dice che non può aspettare a farlo.
Bene, Judy, you have to make this because it's very easy. Everyone, I think, can see that it's very fast. I suggest you, I hope that, I don't know if Rachel is making this right now, real time, or she is making this night. Even if she's making this night after, tell me how it's gone, how did it taste, this dish. And I'm sure that you'll have a real success to make this. Just watch the consistency, the texture of the cream. If you think that you need more mustard, you add more mustard, and after you see with your fresh cream. In my case, I had a really fresh cream directly from the milk, and so it was liquid. But anyway, I prefer not to have the flour.
Tyson chiede con cosa è meglio servirlo.
Come contorno, Tyson, you're referring to some side dish. About the side dish, in this case, always very delicate ingredients and fresh, like green beans, like carrots, always steamed if it's possible, because this is a rich flavor against a delicate side dish. So it's very good if you have steamed green carrots, potatoes, and green beans with some nuts of butter and together, and some salt.
Judy Stockton Sampson dice che è tornata.
Grande Judy, Stockton, sei tornata, you're come back. Oh, I'm very happy for this. Okay, where are you?
Donna Rose dice che Amazon avrà molti ordini per il pepe verde oggi.
I think, Donna, because I didn't know that green peppercorn and brine was so difficult to find, and so I say, okay, let's go with this recipe, and I was sure that everyone can make. Anyway, you can make even with white or black pepper, better the black.
Rachel dice che ha trovato un Super Tuscan da bere con quello stasera.
Oh, Rachel, congratulations, the Super Tuscan. So you can find near in Texas, you can find Super Tuscan. Perfect. This is really good, like the Morellino di Scansano, veramente buono.
Poi Tyson dice che sarà una cena perfetta per domani sera, che è il suo anniversario.
Oh, grande Tyson. Tomorrow is your anniversary. Congratulations, and I think that this will be a perfect dinner. Buy a very good red wine, take the simple and delicate side dish. It's very easy, fast, but it's a precious dish, very important and very good in flavor. I'm sure you like, because during our cooking classes and during our private dinners in Tuscany, always my clients and customers say that this is a dish very, very good. So I'm sure it's delicious and you can make.
Silvia Bacigalupi gli fa gli auguri.
Vedi?
Tyson ti ringrazia.
Thank you.
E Maria Ciarla dice che sembra delizioso e non può aspettare a farlo.
Sì, sì. Maria, I recommend you and all of you to tell me how did taste this dish once that you made at home, because I'm very happy to see your creations, and I want to have a feedback from you. And remember that you can ask me, even when you make it, you can ask me in the comments questions, because I jump here in the comments even after this broadcast is done. So I come here. You can always share this broadcast, you can always write me, and I always answer you, and I hope this broadcast will be often in the internet world, so it will will be a sign that this is a good class on stream.
Poi Judy Stockton Sampson ti ringrazia e dice che la sua pagina di Facebook è cambiata e non ti ha potuta vedere, ma ora è tornata regolarmente.
Grazie Judy, ok. I'm happy that you come back and so we can stay together for the next time. I want to tell to everyone that I'm not sure that next time I could make another broadcast on Thursday because I have to live for some days in a place without the internet. So maybe we will meet the next time, or if I can, I'll try to make a video. Anyway, don't worry, because if it's not the next Thursday, I will be with you for the Thursday after the next, so don't worry.
Giampaolo Sforza dice grandissima Erika.
Grande Giampa! Thank you very much, Giamp.
Poi Silvia Bacigalupi ti dice che sei fantastica e ti ringrazia.
Thank you, Silvia. You are fantastic, and I say thank you to you. And as I told you before, you give me many force to go ahead, and all the people that are listening to me and watching this give me this. And so thank you for giving me the life to go ahead.
Tyson dice che sarà felice di condividere feedback e foto se può farla, se riuscirà a cucinarle, e ha apprezzato molto i tuoi trucchi e vedere te cucinare e condividere con loro.
Grazie Tyson, I hope you keep in touch, and I'm so curious to see your creations, and you see the next time maybe I can tag you, or you see me, and so we'll be together another time. It's like to be together when we cooked together last year. Okay guys, so I really hope this experience was good for you, and I really welcome you to my cooking school near Lucca in Tuscany, and I hope to see you again soon. I keep in touch. My Facebook page is Cooking Classes in Tuscany, Cuoche in Vacanza, and my Facebook group is Dolce Vita in Tuscany. Food and treats. So if you want to keep in touch with me, you have just to come on the Facebook page or on the group. Hope to see you next time. Thank you very much, and have a nice weekend. Ciao ciao ciao.